Well, hello everybody, this is Fibro Jedi and one of the team of the LOTRO family Twitter account. This is episode 19 of my LOTRO Warden series, getting serious now. I'm calling this episode Revenge of the Eglain because we are going to wreak the revenge of the locals in the Lonelands against the Orcs. We have some rather unsavoury jobs to do, let's say. So they keep themselves to themselves, but they don't like their people being threatened. So, quests we've got to take revenge on the Orcs, but around this Orc stronghold here, we have the wonderful joy of burning bloated corpses, lovely, and burning barrels of rotting flesh, also rather gross. And on the way we've got to take out at least 22 orcs, but I suspect it will be more than that because we are under level. Yay! Right, so level 27 quests on a level 25 warden. So let's get started. I've also picked up another quest here to collect warg paws. We may or may not get 12, but because there are wargs between here and where we'll be questing over there, we may possibly grab a few on the way. So I'm not going to ride there, that, and because we're under level, everything will attack us. So there's no point being mounted. Yay. Rightio. Now then, the next episode after this, we will be taking on the whites of the ruins over here. But I wanted to do this episode first because we are under level. So, I've been trying out more recently the attempt at this. There we go. You get extra speed when you ambush, which lets you get, in this case, a bit of a fight in, deal a bit of damage before you kind of have to. Before you have to, defend yourself, is the end of that sentence. So that they have two different cooldowns. So the careful step, which basically improves your chances of ambush being successful and stunning your opponent, because they can resist it, has a longer cooldown than ambush itself. So yeah, just something I've been trying out. I played Lamuna yesterday because I was away from LOTRO for 8 days, 9 days maybe in total. And I got out the swing of it. Haha. Right, so here's a warg, for example. Now, this may or may not work, because I haven't got careful step active. Oh, it has in this instance. So what I've been doing, what I would have done had I actually been not overstepping. Would have been to use it's called Precise Strike or something. If I go into Skills and Gambits. Precise Blow. No, that's not the one I was thinking of at all. What is it? It's a determination. I think it's a determination. Gambit. Where is it? Maybe it's not. No, it's not. It's a Recklessness Gambit. So, Offensive Strike here is the one that drains your opponent and heals you at the same time. So I've been using that one when doing ambush, because that way you can drain some of their morale without really having to... It puts a damage over time in place. Right, okay. So, I've also been trying against multiple opponents recently just to vary up which Gambits I'm using. It doesn't really help when I've got a slight ability lag going on here. But against singular ones, I've been just trying to use the chains. One thing I have found playing against large groups of mobs, which normally speaking I panic. I panic at is actually staying calm seems to be the best thing you can do. So I pitted Lamuna against 4 or 5 wargs as part of doing the Warg Slayer deed here in the Lonelands. Hello. Speaking of groups of mobs, I don't like being cornered. My first rule of mostly melee combat in any game is don't get cornered. Right, I was still trying to burn this wonderful bloated corpse here. Right. Yes, so staying calm against the groups of wargs seemed to actually work really well. I was against 4 wargs that were over Lamuna's level by 1 and 2 levels, depending on what numbers had spawned at the time. And just by thinking things through, thinking, what do I need? I need to be able to maintain my own health and stack some of the healing gambits seem to work really well, rather than trying to stack up the offensive buff ones. I'll see if I can demonstrate it. Because what I was trying to do is, I don't really have a rotation yet. I'm just trying to practice different gambits. So, I may or may not make this jump. Made it. And I've already lost my train of thought. Yes, so that was it. So against groups of mobs, because I'm risk averse, I have been putting in the war cry to try and evade some of the damage. Because if you can avoid some damage, then you don't have to heal as much, of course. And then to build up. Oh, I've been silenced, have I? Oh no, primary weapon disabled. Oh great. I can still shout at you though. I wonder what debuff that was. Have I got my weapon back? Yes. So I'll recap in a second. I realise it's been a while since I've done any recording or streaming, and you can kind of tell. Right, we'll take on this dude in a second. But what I've been doing is under the healing gambits. So the persevere gambit chain builds and builds up healing. So I'll demonstrate what I mean. So war cry I'm going to do first. Which is a fist and a shield to evade some damage, and then I'll build up the healing one, because look, we're level 28 sig here. So fist, shield, evade. Right. Alright, oh flipping lost my primary. There we go. Right, now we need to build up the healing again. So that's step 1. Step 2 of the persevere chain. Step 3, if I make it, because we're fair draining this guy, is there. And there we go, defeated the Tarkrip Slaughterer, and overall not much health gone. I messed up that bit there because, to be honest, I wasn't really thinking. But we did make it through the Persevere Gambit chain, which builds up healing, and I found that massively useful as a risk-averse player. I would rather take my time over a long combat or a huge chain of fights than trying to deal as much damage as quickly as possible. So the other thing I've been making sure I'm doing is this diminished target, which you chuck your javelin at him, and it basically lowers their resistance to light damage. So any of your abilities that use light, or any of your gambits that use light damage, say for example Warden's Taunt, all it reduces the resistance to it, so it means they can actually take more damage or to those abilities. So again, sometimes long combat is about dealing as much damage as possible. Sometimes, say on a Guardian, you might be more concerned with basically out enduring the fight compared to your opponents. On this Warden, I'm trying to balance the two, because technically, of course, she's in tank stance. And going to drain you as well, because why not? And then Warcry. The other thing I did realise, I realised quite a few things yesterday, is I haven't done stage 1 of any tier 1 of any of the class deeds, because I don't use the offensive. I don't use this one, Deft Strike, which is two spears, and I don't use 2 taunts. So for example, if I taunt here and then I taunt again, I don't use goad. That's it. Right, now I'm up against 3 here, so I should probably, concentrate. Evade, and using the trick that someone else mentioned, use that offensive strike on all of them. It's not as effective as building up the healing gambit using Persevere Gambit chain. But either way, we out-survived it, so that's the main thing. Right, how are we doing on the actual quests? I think I've only burnt 2 out of 6 corpses. Lovely. Wow, they respawned quickly. Okay, I'm going to have to watch that. I think it's because... What level are they? 27. The fights take so long. This is the only character I think I've come under level at, but fights take so long in comparison to when I'm usually well over leveled. Right, do we have the... No, we haven't got any rings for the corpses yet. Master of the Lash. Oh, it's just collect Orc swords. Okay. Evade. Right, and let's build that Persevere Gambit chain again, just to show that we can. Persevere Gambit chain step 1. Persevere Gambit chain step 2. Watching my... There we go. So I was saying it's... In one sense it's a matter of choice, I think, at this point, which gambits or gambit chain you want to do. For ages we were doing the Impressive Flourish Gambit chain, so just to recap for my own memory as much as anything else. Okay, I can't, because of course I'm being... So the Impressive Flourish Gambit chain... Oh, I think there's an ability lag thing here going on. Mostly I think that mostly built up damage, rather than, but it does have some elements of healing in it. So I'm hoping I'm going to be a bit safer up here, because what I want to do here. So the Impressive Flourish Gambit chain. So step 1, build your defenses, so critical defense, physical, tactical mitts, etc. The second stage of the impressive flourish gambit chain. So I am looking for shield fist. Is maddening strike, which further builds up your critical defenses and mitigations, while of course dealing some damage because you're whacking and taunting. Then the next stage is, well, you got two, I think, haven't you? Conviction, shield taunt. Yes. So then it adds in healing for you. So effectively, it builds up all your defenses while dealing damage, and then by the last stage of the impressive flourish, it's healing you. So that's one way of doing it. The other thing we've got is the persevere gambit chain, which step 1 improves your block rating and heals you a little bit. Step 2, safeguard, further improves your block rating and partial block chance, and also heals you more. I think it becomes like a tier 2 heal over time. Then you've got an option on the persevere gambit chain to either go, where is it? Where is it? I thought there was a 4-step and a 5-step. There is, I was looking at it. Okay, Celebration of Skill is also a finishing skill, so you can go shield, spear, shield, spear. That's really hard to say. Which improves your block rating, partial block chance, and a percentage of your incoming healing. Or you can add a final shield on the end, and it's one or the other, which is restoration, which gives you a tier 3 heal over time, but doesn't do the things that step 4 does. So that one you have options for. So that one, so the impressive flourish is more about building your defenses, outlasting the fight, I suppose, but only heals on the last stage, whereas the persevere gambit chain is about just building up your heals over time. Okay, now everything of course has respawned, and we have to find more bloated corpses. So this is the persevere step 1, persevere step 2, so there's step 4 if I wanted it, but there we go. But you see, it doesn't improve your damage against your opponents, but at the end of it, I've almost not lost any health because I've healed it faster than they could deal it. So if we were to do, I'd rather not pick on 3 straight away. Well, let's try it. So the impressive flourish was shield fist. So shield fist step 1, shield fist, shield step 2, shield fist, shield fist, shield there. But we have lost an element of health, but we can easily fix that, of course. But we didn't lose an awful lot. So at this level, it's kind of much of a muchness. It doesn't seem to really matter which way you want to play that. See, one of them's respawned already. Oh joy. As I say, because I am risk averse, I will err on the side of getting more healing. But it's nice to mix things up a bit. Now then, where haven't I gone to find, because I'm still missing... Oops. This was not the gambit you were looking for. I am looking for bloated corpses. Things you only hear gamers say. Right, now then, where are they? There's one. I mean, part of me still likes using the precise strike because it does a double job for you. It drains them of health, but it gives you it back. It not in a healed, so you don't see the oh look, there's one. You don't see the green numbers for healing, for example, because you're not really... You're stealing health rather than restoring your own. And as someone who suffers from hand pain, any extra clicks I can reduce, especially on a click-happy class, like Warden is. Right, no. I'm trying to see if I can find... no, it's not going to tell me. I need one more bloated corpse. Oh, and dreadful Tarkrips are the archers. Oh, okay, I'd forgotten about that. Still need to find a bloated corpse. That's such a disgusting thing to say out loud. Right. Careful step, and... Oh, I know a course I didn't finish. And I explained... Oh, I've been... had my primary weapon disabled. That's really unhelpful. Okay, let's just get the heal one in. I was going to try and be clever and build defences, but in reality, I just need healing because there are more. They're quite hard hitting, as you'd kind of expect. I keep doing that gambit when I really have no use for it. There we go, and... Okay, could have been worse. Yay! I don't have to look for more bloated corpses, there's one left here. Okay. So what I was going to say is, I've not finished tier 1 of the class deeds because you need to complete Know Your Enemy and Skill and Power, and Know Your Enemy is Strike with Goad, which I very rarely do. Probably because I'm angering everyone anyway, so I don't need to taunt them more than I already am doing. And the other one is... where was it? A key... no. Skill and Power. Skill and Power, here it is. Strike with Deft Strike, which is 2 spears. Which, given I am purposefully going defensive, I don't very often use that, so I'm going to have to purposefully build it in at some point. I don't like my health dipping too much, so the idea of, for example, if I do this, get me into... and then spear and spear, I have to purposefully choose to do that and taunt with goad there. It's doable. It just because I've got certain abilities I regularly use now. I don't very often bother with those gambits, and I really should for the class deeds, the class trait points. Right. Right, so we still need one more archer. How am I doing on the Slayer deed? 2/3 of the way there. Okay. One thing I do forget with playing Warden is that you do draw more foes than you originally intend, because you're using effectively area of effect taunts. So I keep thinking, I'm against 2 orcs here, why have they now got 3 in my face? Oh yes, it's because I encouraged them to be there. Right, wow, take a breath. Right, I'm still going to walk back to Oscaruth just in case I can espy any wargs en route. So yeah, I've been trying to get back into the swing of it. I feel like this episode's been a bit more chaotic, but the Eglain will, or at least should be, happy with what we've done for them. They might keep themselves to themselves, but my word, if you cross them, they'll employ a hobbit to take you out. Yes, okay. Right, okay, we can now ride in, because we didn't come across any wargs on that walk. Fine. So, who are our quest givers? I think there were a few. By a few, I mean at least 2. Okay, so this is at least... oh, this is the only one. Fab, okay. Possibly? No, I was wrong. There's one more behind the wall. Manslayers! Though it will travel slowly, the news of your victory will spread, and the Eglain will come to know you. I offer you my thanks for all you have done, and hope that you will continue to aid us into the future. Can I use... Could do with upgrading my spear, realistically, couldn't I? But it doesn't really matter at this point. Right. Master of the Lash. This was won just by basically killing orcs on behalf of the Eglain. We shall see if the orcs are able to rally behind another, or if they falter as we hope. Regardless, this has been a great victory. Your deeds will be recounted throughout the Eglain, and you will be known to all. I offer you my gratitude and the gratitude of my people. We wish to honour all you have done for us, Lamuna. As we have not much to offer, I hope this will suffice. Pardon me, well, it has to. It has to suffice. Hunter of Tarkrip. None of those are particularly helpful upgrades for me. 377. There we go. And the other quest giver, I was hoping we'd actually level up in this episode, but apparently not yet.
Greetings.
Plague upon us. This was one of, I think this is one of the gross things. You have our gratitude, friend. It pains to know that the orcs have claimed the lives of many Eglain who fought against them. We will breathe easier knowing that the winds will not carry pestilence from the south. Oh look, we leveled up. Yay! Right, so before I close off this episode, what have we gained? Ooh. This is new. I had an idea this existed. So, as a hunter, you get... Sometimes you have to buy them if you're a hunter, and sometimes you get them as a result of doing quests, but you get the guides that allow you to instantly travel somewhere. And Lamuna has just got here, a muster in Oscaruth allows the Warden to travel to Oscaruth in the Lowlands. I don't think you can use that like a hunter guide, so you can't take a fellowship with you. But helpful for quick travel, because you don't get... For the Lowlands, you don't get the return to skill, which is important for non-hunters if you need this location, until you hit Kindred with the Eglain. So that's the only raw ability that we've gained there. Question is, are there any Gambits that I need to be aware of? I don't recognise that one. Fierce Resolve. Oh, another drain. So, drains morale from the target to heal the Warden. Is that a second? No, it's a morale tap, but it's not a chain. So it kind of... It builds on the recklessness one offensive... Oh, it's like the offensive strike. So offensive strike is a spear and a fist. Okay. And that does 2 damaging attacks, so 34 to 56 damage each. And then the attacker is drained of 25 morale. Target is drained by 25 morale. The attacker gains 25 morale. And the same again every 4 seconds. What I've got now in the determination group is Fierce Resolve, which is the same idea. Wonder if you can stack them. That would be interesting. Might have to try that in the next episode. Can you stack... Could you do Offensive Strike and then Fierce Resolve to effectively make it draining of 50 and healing of 50? That's interesting. That looks like all there is in determination. I don't want to really major on getting much in the recklessness one, because I am a determination warden. So let's focus on that. Okay, I feel like this has been a bit haphazard, but hey ho, that happens sometimes, doesn't it? In the next episode, we'll be heading to the Circle of Blood, yum, and meeting Radagast. So yes, thank you for joining me. If you made it this far, well done. And hopefully I'll see you again for episode 20. Take care, and please do follow us on LOTRO Family on Twitter and the Facebook group. Take care and look after yourself. Bye then.